Professional road cycling is one of a few sports in which no boundaries separate the athletes from the fans.
Oh my goodness, look at the fans and listen to the roar.
The spectators are expected to behave and provide adequate space for the riders to perform. The fans can get very close to the sport's biggest stars without having to pay a ticket. But not all of these people are necessarily respectful fans of the sport. In these grand tours, you have people of all mentalities scattered along a 200-kilometer course. Every day for 3 weeks, it becomes impossible for the organizers to control the crowds.
Oh my goodness! Big crash in the centre! Oh, big crash there!
You get irresponsible grown men who are trying to get attention, and those who are trying to take selfies. And you also get pets intruding into the race, and even horses on some occasions. When the race reaches the climbs, the pace of the peloton slows down to a point where it becomes easy for anyone to keep up with the riders simply by running. This is where most of the interactions between the pros and spectators take place.
The Giro d'Italia being played out right here on the monstrous mountain. I thought he was going to put him in his pocket for a minute.
Some cyclists have grown accustomed to drunk spectators in costumes running alongside them on the way up these climbs.
Ahí está, cerveza en la mano, animando a los ciclistas. Pura salud.
But others won't hesitate to throw a punch or two.
Eno was involved in more than just cycling.
This sport is so brutal. When you are already on the limit, dealing with fans getting in the way can be very frustrating.
Whatever reason, there we are, it's a fan. A fan got in the way.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, and that's going to be a famous picture.
To some of these riders, a flag, a camera strap, or any similar object is a threat. Cycling has had numerous incidents of spectators causing harm to the athletes over the years. Vincenzo Nibali was in the form of his life when he left the Tour de France in 2018 with a broken vertebra and back injury.
Nibali's down, Nibali is down, and that is not what we wanted to see.
A spectator's camera strap caught his handlebars. Suddenly, he was on the ground. The Italian was never the same again.
Something has happened with the spectators there.
He spent his whole life training away from home, day in and day out in all types of weather, doing countless training camps, sacrificing all that effort and time which he could have spent with his family instead. That's the price he had to pay to get to this elite level. Decades of work gone in the blink of an eye. It goes to show that such irresponsible behaviours can end careers. This leads us to what happened to Tony Martin on the opening day of the 2021 Tour de France. You've probably seen this image of a careless spectator stepping onto the road, posing to the camera with her back to the peloton and holding a homemade cardboard sign that reads, "Go Granny and Grandad," in French.
Trying to get on TV with a large sign that says, "Allez, Grandma and Grandpa." I mean, what a fool.
The peloton was going so fast that Tony Martin didn't have time to react.
Oh, a huge crash.
He was the first to crash, bringing down most of the peloton with him.
Tony Martin hit a fan, I think, and the entire peloton has crashed.
Unfortunately, some riders were severely injured and had to quit the race on day one. The woman left the scene immediately and disappeared. Following the incident, the police initiated an investigation and launched a search for her throughout France.
Prosecutors say the woman could get a $35,000 fine and maybe prison time.
Due to the intense media pressure, she surrendered to the police 4 days after the incident. She faced a daunting legal battle as prosecutors sought to hold her accountable for endangering lives and causing injuries. They pushed for a 4-month suspended sentence to make her an example, but in the end, the court fined her €1,200. This crash changed Tony Martin forever.
You're a father of 2 daughters. Is it really worth to do this?
At 36 years of age, he came to a definite conclusion that the potential risks were not worth the possible rewards.
It's a way that I don't want to go anymore.
You're probably thinking, why don't they use barriers if it's difficult for them to control events that take place on public roads? While barriers can be a great solution in closed-circuit races and criteriums, it is impossible to place them at large-scale events like the Grand Tours, with a total distance of 3,500 kilometers. The Tour's sheer enormousness makes crowd control financially and logistically unattainable. But suppose they somehow managed to install barriers along the 3,500 kilometer route. That wouldn't be the end of the problems. What you've already seen will not seem that bad after you learn about race saboteurs. You don't want these types of people at your bike race. Their main goal is to ruin events like these. That was the case when the Tour passed on top of the climb during the 14th stage of the 2012 edition. Countless tacks and nails were thrown on the road prior to the rider's passage. The result was more than 30 punctures, including team vehicles. Defending champion Cadel Evans was one of the riders who suffered from these punctures and had to wait what seemed like an eternity for a bike change, since his teammates suffered the same fate as him. This deliberate sabotage incident reoccurs every now and then in both professional and amateur cycling. It happened again this year at the Tour. Luckily, this rider and many others had tubeless tyres. These nails are hardly noticeable. They can be sprinkled on the site hours before the peloton's arrival, which makes identifying these vandals impossible.
Here we go, we are off, and it looks like our race moto is stuck. It's just in the middle of the race.
The motor, it's stalled, yeah. Riders going down everywhere. Left and right.
We've got riders all over the place.
Another dangerous element in bike races is motorbikes. There has been a lot of criticism over their presence around the peloton over the years, but progress has yet to be made in this regard. 20 years ago, Mario Cipollini got disqualified from a classic race after throwing 2 water bottles at a race commissaire who attempted to pass between him and his sports director whilst they were in conversation.
Can't quite make his mind up right now. Oh dear. He's not having a nice day.
Very good shot.
You could argue that Mario overreacted, but he was probably thinking about the worst-case scenario.
He threw 2 bottles at the commissaire.
That hit him. That was a direct shot, that. They could get in trouble for that.
One of the craziest days in the history of the Tour is July the 14th, 2016. The finish of the stage was supposed to be on the top of the iconic climb Mont Ventoux. The fans camped out along the climb weeks before the Tour arrived, but due to strong winds, the stage was shortened and the finish was relocated to a lower area. What happened next was inevitable.
There's a problem here, Phil. What's happened? Well, there's an accident here. As far as I can see, that was the yellow jersey group, and they've gone down. That was because a motorbike got involved.
The crowds blocked off the road inside the final kilometre, and 3 of the race favourites got sandwiched between 2 TV motorbikes. Chris Froome's bike snapped into pieces as a result.
Look at this.
Phil. Well, this I have never, ever seen before.
Well, this is bizarre. This Tour de France, look at...
With no replacement bike within sight, he started running towards the finish line to save his yellow jersey. It was madness. This relationship between the race and the public was established over a period of 120 years. That's what makes it one of the most beloved sporting events globally. It's a show, and the spectators are an essential part of it. Hopefully, the more people who see this video, the safer road racing gets. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel.